Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news. All right, 49ers fans, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most significant moves in recent franchise history. Rumors are swirling about a blockbuster trade involving Quentin Nelson, the Colts' star offensive guard, heading to San Francisco. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Nelson. Isn't he a little long in the tooth at 29? But trust me, the impact he could bring to Levi's Stadium might just be what pushes us over the top for another Super Bowl title. Let's start with the background. The Colts, after a rough 2025 season finishing 5-12, are clearly in rebuild mode. They're looking to reset their roster, especially on the offensive line, which has struggled mightily this past year. Indianapolis allowed a staggering 30 points per game, and their OL surrendered an average of 4-8 sacks per game. That's not going to cut it if they want to compete again anytime soon. With $28 million in cap space for 2026, but a hefty dead cap hit of $11 million from the now-departed Anthony Richardson, the Colts are clearly prioritizing a rebuild focused on their defense and young talent. Reports suggest they're keen on trading Nelson, who's got a cap hit of $9 million for 2026, to free up some space and acquire draft picks to rebuild around a new quarterback. Now here's where it gets interesting for us. The 49ers, with their $34 million in cap space, are looking to bolster their interior line after a season plagued by injuries and inconsistency. The addition of Nelson could be a game-changer. He's one of the best interior linemen in the league with a career grade of 89. 7 overall, and he's been a top 1 guard pretty much every year since 2018. His run blocking is elite, a PFF run block grade of 90. 5, and his pass protection is equally impressive at 88. 2, he allowed just 1 sack in 15 games this season, which is remarkable for someone of his size and talent. Nelson's ability to control the line of scrimmage is second to none, and his presence could turn our already potent run game into a juggernaut, especially with Christian McCaffrey and the rushing attack already averaging over 130 yards per game. Imagine what Nelson's interior dominance could do for us. We're talking about a guy who's generated over 0 yards after contact in his career, who's been a fortress in the red zone with a grade of 93. 8, and who prevents TFLs at a rate of about 2 per season. His 65, 330-pound frame and 5'15" 40-yard dash times make him a physical force on the line, and his arm length in the 96th percentile allows him to dominate blocks in a way few can. Plus, his recent knee injury in Week 11 was minor, and he's back to full strength, ready to contribute right away. For the Colts, this move makes sense. They're looking to shed some cap and acquire draft capital to rebuild around their young quarterback, who, despite some struggles, has shown flashes of potential. Trading Nelson could bring them a couple of third-round picks in 2026, which would be crucial for their rebuild. And honestly, they're probably thinking long-term, knowing they need a fresh start after a disappointing season. It's all about setting the foundation for the future, and moving Nelson now helps them do that. But for us, this is a massive upgrade. Nelson's addition to our line transforms our offense into a true run-first machine. We could see our rushing yards jump from around 130 to over 155 per game, with a significant boost in EPA per run, possibly around plus 26%. That means more effective, explosive runs, more control of the game clock, and a defense that's kept off the field longer. We've already seen how dominant our defense can be when we control the tempo, and adding Nelson would only make it tougher for opposing defenses to get to our quarterback, especially with the issues Kittle faced with his ankle lately. Speaking of Purdy, the extra time and protection he'd get with Nelson in the lineup could really open up the passing game. His yards per attempt could rise by around 15 yards, pushing him closer to an efficient 5 yards per throw. And for Ayuk, the added YAC, yards after catch, opportunities mean more explosive plays, helping us stretch the field and keep defenses honest. Nelson's presence also shores up our red zone efficiency, which has been solid but could always improve. A grade jump of about 20% in that area is realistic, and that means more touchdowns and less settling for field goals. Now, the real kicker here is the potential impact on our playoff chances. Vegas odds have already shifted, with the San Francisco 49ers jumping from around +2, 0 to +1, 200 to win the Super Bowl, thanks in part to the rumors of Nelson's arrival. And if he joins, that boost could grow even more, with some projections suggesting our chances increase by over 27%. That's huge, especially considering our current 9-8 record and the struggles we've faced in the red zone and on third down. Nelson's run blocking and pass protection could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. And let's not forget about the bigger picture. This trade cements our identity as a run-first team, a true powerhouse that can impose its will on opponents. Nelson would be the cornerstone for a dominant interior line that allows us to control the clock, keep our defense fresh, and wear down opposing defenses over the course of the game. It's exactly what we need to return to the top of the NFC and challenge for another Super Bowl ring. With Nelson anchoring our line, the vision is clear. San Francisco becomes a true dynasty, with multiple rings in Levi's future. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could send shockwaves through the league. The 49ers are already considered one of the most complete teams, but adding a player of Nelson's caliber could push us into a league of our own. Our run game would be unstoppable, and the improved protection for Purdy and the receivers could make us even more lethal through the air. That balance is what makes this team so dangerous, a perfect blend of power running, efficient passing, and stout defense. And if you think about the history of the 49ers, this kind of move echoes some of our most successful eras. The 2020 team, with its strong run game, elite defense, and clutch performances, left a mark on NFL history. Bringing Nelson into the fold could set us up for a similar run, especially if the defense tightens up and the offense becomes even more explosive. It's all about building that consistency, that identity, and taking control of the NFC once again. Of course, there are questions. Some might say, is Nelson too old? Or what about the cap space? But if the Niners are smart, they'll see the value in his experience, his elite blocking, and his leadership on the line. Plus, the cap hit of $9 million is manageable, and the potential for a long-term impact outweighs the short-term concerns. And with the roster improvements, especially on the defensive line where injuries have been a concern, this move makes sense from a strategic standpoint. In terms of the upcoming Super Bowl, the odds are already shifting dramatically. With Nelson in the fold, some Vegas bookmakers now see the 49ers as one of the top contenders, odds moving from +2, 0 to +900, signaling a major vote of confidence. His run game impact alone could be enough to tilt the balance in tight playoff games, especially in the red zone, where every inch and every point counts. The NFC is wide open, and with this kind of upgrade, the 49ers could be the team to beat. So what's next? Well, it's all about waiting for the official confirmation, but the signs point toward a serious possibility. If the trade goes through, it's a signal that the 49ers are all in on winning now. We're talking about a team that's already stacked with talent, but with Nelson anchoring that interior line, we could be witnessing the beginning of a new era of dominance in the NFL. A period where the 49ers return to their roots, power football, ball control, and relentless defense, all driven by one of the best guards in the league. In conclusion, this potential move could transform our team. It's not just about adding a player. It's about sending a statement to the rest of the league that the 49ers are serious about reclaiming their throne. Nelson's impact on our run game, our protection, and ultimately our championship aspirations cannot be overstated. This is a move that could define our season, our franchise, and perhaps even our legacy. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news.